Hi, Zizaran here with another video for Expedition League, and we are going to be talking about the Flask rework or nerf or whatever you want to call it, and a lot of things have changed, so I'm going to give my input on it. So there have been some quality of life updates, and a lot of that is in the form of the Enkindling Orb and the Instilling Orb. Enkindling Orb is sort of what I've been asking for a very long time. I really don't like the way in Path of Exile that we are just sitting here 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5. The Flask might as well just be permanent equipment at this point for all intents and purposes while mapping. And I think the Flask system made a lot more sense back in the day when Flasks, you know, they were very powerful, but you got to use them not permanent uptime. They're too strong for that. So the Enkindling Orb, I'm very happy about it. I guess I kind of wish it was the default way and not something we needed an orb for. But I've always wanted Flasks to not be able to gain charges while in use. So this is something, if you've followed my channel, I've been talking about this for at least 2 or 3 years, I think. And this is going to add an enchantment to Utility Flask. It'll improve it, but prevent it from gaining charges. And that should make it pretty strong, but you won't be able to permanently spam it. So you're going to have to be like, oh, I need this Flask now. We also have Instilling Orb, which adds an enchantment to Utility Flask that will cause it to be used when certain conditions are met. From what I understand, this can be things like when you're ignited, when the Flask next to it is used, and yeah, this will basically let you auto Flask in a way. So very interesting here. Obviously, there are some differences from the normal game. Both of them have really good uses. Obviously, the Enkindling Orb have things like 50% increased effect. It could be really good for mapping if you're a character that don't need to rely on Flask all the time and you just want a really big boost. But obviously, the biggest use for these is going to be for bosses, and probably on some of the very strong Flasks, it'll be like an insane boost. We also have the Instilling Orb, which should be interesting to see in use. Wonder like how worth it it's going to be to have the Flask pop semi-automatically or close to automatically. It will be interesting. Currently in Path of Exile, Flasks are basically permanent buffs. They give us immunities and stuff like that. That is also something they're changing. From what I understood of the broadcast, if you are ignited and you say immune to Ignite Flask, then you're immune to Ignite. If you use an immune to Ignite Flask and you're not ignited but then get ignited, you are not immune until you use it again. That means that we're most likely... There's some big changes here. Obviously, we can't just have permanent immunity to bleed through Flask. We can't have permanent immunity to curses through Flask. And I'm guessing like immunity to curses is going away from Flask. So very interesting in a lot of ways. That gives the players a lot more problems that we have to deal with, and not just super OP Flasks that are 1 alchemy. I don't know if it's going to feel good. I've wanted this for a long time. It could be an absolute dumpster fire. I definitely could see it going either way. So it'll be interesting. We're just going to have to give feedback, see how it goes. Either way, I'm very happy that they're reworking Flasks. I think most people are happy that they're reworking Flasks, even if they don't like this system. Because, you know, I don't know how many clicks we have left in our hands, you know. I would love to hear how you guys are feeling, especially on Flasks and the rework. But at least, even if they don't get it right the first time, I'm very happy they're doing something. I think it's a step in the right direction. Fully prepared for this to feel like garbage, though. But it'll be interesting. Some of the Flasks have been removed from the game. Basilisk Flask can now 20% more armor. So I don't know when I'm going to be using this over a Granite Flask, especially seeing as it's 40 out of 60 charges on use. Stibnite is 20% more innovation now instead of 100% increased. So that means that it's a lot better endgame, but a lot worse early. 2 new Flasks. Corundum, 30% increased stun threshold. Cannot be stunned if you've been stunned during Flask fight. I mean, there might be uses for this. Like, stun can be really bad for some builds, and this can honestly be like a nice panic button for CI builds early or something. The Gold Flask, however, I don't see much of a use. Maybe it has some crazy affixes. What if Gold Flask can roll 20 quant as an affix? I don't know, right? So maybe there... I don't know. It looks kind of garbage, but we'll see, I guess. You can see also Quicksilver and Diamond Flask is not listed at all. I don't know if that means they're not getting reworked or that they're removed, but they're not here. So Stimonite has been rebalanced. It holds 60 charges now, but it uses 40 instead of 10. It's a very big nerf. They're going very, very hard on Flasks. And also, in addition to that, it's using more. I gotta remember, we get a lot less fast charges. I think monsters were only gonna give like 1 in maps or something. I can't remember, but it is gonna be very, very hard to permaflask. I think this is actually gonna hurt newer players a lot more. Obviously, I mean, most things do. But this in particular is going to hurt new players a lot more than players like me. Because I'm going to use Sextants. I'm most likely going to have Delirium on my map. I will have a Zana map device thing, so my map will be fairly dense. However, and if you're wondering what the difference is with a juiced up map versus a not juiced up map, like the way I would normally juice them on SSF Hardcore, it can be as many as 900 to 1200 mobs, sometimes 2000. A completely unjuiced map could have between 280 and 400, maybe 500. I think it'll be a lot rougher for those players that are trying to have like a chilled out time and you know, they don't want to get into Sextants, they don't want to get into map device mods. So that could be rough. I do hope that a lot of the changes they're making are going to be good long term, and like I feel like I get the best perspective around a month into the league. And a month into Ultimatum, I was not enjoying myself. I didn't enjoy the direction they went in Ultimatum. Particularly for me, the roughest was the boss changes with making like boss drops drop from everywhere. Something that I want to see the opposite direction of. I want more specific boss drops and more reason to do bosses. Definitely hoping that this is going to be a more enjoyable patch for me, because the last one was not. And then we have this ascendancy, the Pathfinder or the Flask Finder. What's going to happen? Is Pathfinder just going to be insanely busted now and like the most played thing because you kind of need it? Like, is it still gonna have like loads of the Flask stuff? Is it? We don't know, right? We don't know what's happening, but it is a class based around 100% uptime, and you know, the entire build, whatever you do, generally is focused around your Flask. It could be really cool. Something I'm really looking forward to is the Flask build. That looks sick. That looks so cool. Very excited for that. But I wonder what they're gonna do. I honestly have no idea. I could totally see a rework or a nerf of Pathfinder. I wouldn't be surprised if the entire thing has been remade. But obviously there's a lot of really, really strong things here. Also, things like Master Surgeon is a lot stronger now. Like removing bleed when you use a flask, because now you always have to remove bleed when you use a flask. Like you can't have permanent immunity from one flask being up. So it makes it very, very strong that all of your flasks are bleed flasks. And obviously gaining flask charges on crit. There's so many really good things here for Pathfinder, assuming, well, if they left it like that. Overall, I'm extremely cautiously excited. I am trying to mentally prepare myself for this feeling like garbage. I think it's very, very hard to get something like this right the first time. I've been trying to think how I would do it, because I think it's needed. And I don't know if I could do it the first try. I think it's definitely going to take like 3 to 6 months to get it right, to make it feel good and make it fit in Path of Exile. Obviously, the developers want the game to be a lot slower and more of a challenge. It currently isn't. Obviously, that depends on how new to Path of Exile you are. But very quickly, we see new players able to, you know, especially while mapping for a large amount of the population, it is just right-clicking screens. Some people having an easier time than others. I am a terrible example because I have 22,000 hours in the game, and it's probably never going to be extremely hard, because how the fuck would casual people play, you know? Either way, I would love to hear what you guys think. When saying your opinion, I would love for you guys to include like how much you play. Like I play 50 hours a week, I play 10 hours a week, I play once a month. Like, tell me a little bit about where you're coming from and how you feel these changes are going to affect you. If you're excited, I would love to like know what type of player feels what certain way. And like I said, a fast rework is needed. Is this going to be the correct choice? We don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. I'm glad they're doing something. Either way, hope you guys are enjoying the content. Sub if you like the videos. Lots more content coming. Build guides, everything loads soon. Thanks for watching. More importantly, try to die less than I do.